So, remember that adorable kid who unboxed toys on YouTube and was living everyone's childhood dream? Or so it seemed. Yeah, it turns out his parents might have been unboxing his entire childhood for profit. Ryan Kaji was once YouTube royalty, the smiling little dude surrounded by rainbows, toys, and more slime than a Nickelodeon award show. But now the internet is finally waking up to the uncomfortable truth. Because behind every Ryan's World video is a pair of parents who may have set the gold standard for child exploitation online. And what's even worse is how rich they got doing it. So make sure to watch the full video to see exactly how Loann and Shion Kaji went from supportive parents to walking business empires who allegedly squeezed every last dollar out of their son's childhood. But first, to truly understand how this all unfolded, we need to rewind to where it all started back in 2015, which is now a decade ago. This just shows how long this little man's been running laps. Because at the time, Ryan was only 3. He supposedly asked why he wasn't on YouTube like the other kids. And instead of saying, because you need a nap, his mom, Loann, a former chemistry teacher, grabbed a camera and hit record. Cute, sure. Strategic? You'll see. What began as a casual Lego unboxing turned into Ryan's toy review, a full-time content factory. Loann quit her job. Then Ryan's dad, Shion, got involved, and within a year, they were uploading nonstop. By 2017, they locked in a deal with Pocket Watch, a media company built to monetize kids on the internet. And suddenly, Ryan's face was everywhere. We're talking merchandise in Target, branded snacks, toy aisles filled with his logo, and even his own TV show. Ryan was barely in kindergarten and already a multi-millionaire, technically because none of the money actually belonged to him. So, here's where it gets murky. Everyone says Ryan wanted to be on YouTube, but let's be real. What 3-year-old truly understands what going viral means? Critics say the Kajis built the perfect business by capitalizing on Ryan's cuteness, deliberately engineering a preschool-targeted content empire. Shion even admitted to designing content that would pull in the 2 to 6-year-old demographic. Translation: they knew exactly what they were doing. They weren't just filming playtime. They were filming product placement. Because even the filming schedule was brutal. Videos pretty much every day. Elaborate sets, scripts, acting, editing, and a literal 30-person team. One Reddit post even claims there's footage from 2019 where Ryan flat out says he's tired and doesn't want to film, and they keep rolling. Yeah, that's not family time, that's work. Speaking of work, let's talk about the real moneymaker, ads. Ryan's videos became a masterclass in how to sell toys to toddlers under the disguise of innocent unboxings. But watchdog groups caught on. A 2019 report revealed that 90% of Ryan's videos featured paid promotions. But most kids watching didn't know the difference between a toy review and a commercial, which is a huge problem. It led to a massive FTC complaint. YouTube got slammed with $170 million worth of fines for violating child privacy laws. And Ryan's World became the poster child for everything wrong with kids' content online. And of course, Ryan's greedy parents' response wasn't to back off after the massive FTC crackdown. Instead, they shifted harder into retail. If ads weren't as easy to sneak in, they just pushed more toys, more slime, and more Ryan-branded merchant stores. Because, of course, for them, it seemed to be all about the money and not family fun as they claimed. So, here's the part that makes everyone's blood boil. As of right now, Ryan legally has no guaranteed access to the fortune he generated. That's right. Every dollar from YouTube, every cent from product deals goes straight into accounts controlled by his parents. And under the current U.S. law, they could technically spend it all on houses, cars, or gold-plated cereal bowls. And Ryan couldn't do a thing. That's why new laws are being written to protect kidfluencers. Because, no joke, Ryan made his parents tens of millions, and he might walk into adulthood with just a pat on the back and use fidget spinner. And just when you thought the story couldn't get more calculated, well, there's Emma and Kate, Ryan's younger twin sisters that were practically born into content. At first, they were background extras, cute toddlers making cameos. Then slowly they became full-blown characters. New segments, their own toys, branded content. You get the picture. So essentially, the general feel is that the twins were brought into the spotlight specifically to keep the empire running once Ryan got too old. Kind of like Ryan 2.0 and 3.0. Now, whether that's true or not, that's up to you to decide. You guys can let me know in the comments because one thing's clear, Ryan's parents have zero plans of slowing down. They simply swapped out the faces and kept the content train on its tracks. Now, despite all of this, for years, Loann and Shion managed to dodge serious backlash. They smiled in interviews, said Ryan loved filming, and promised they were saving for his future. But slowly things changed. Parenting blogs, commentary YouTubers, and even child development experts began ringing alarm bells. People started calling out how emotionally flat Ryan seemed. Tired, bored, like a kid stuck in a never-ending episode of Teletubbies he couldn't escape. Reddit threads even exploded. TikTok memes roasted his parents. And one critic even described the channel as a digital child labor camp with thumbnails. And believe it or not, there's now even a petition called Let Ryan Retire. So yeah, that's how bad this has all gotten. But just when you thought things couldn't get sketchier, people dug into Loann Kaji's past. Turns out she has a criminal record. In 2002, pre-YouTube fame, she was arrested for shoplifting and even served jail time for violating probation. Now, I'm sure most of you already knew this, and sure, some people can change, but when you're facing accusations of stealing your child's childhood for money, having a literal theft conviction on your record doesn't exactly help your case. So, because of this, fans weren't just side-eyeing the brand. This is what led them to believe that Ryan's parents were just in it for the money and weren't necessarily concerned with his well-being. Now, that's just speculation, of course, but if that's the case, well, karma has a funny way of working things out because Ryan's World, the movie, was an absolute disaster. Yep, Ryan's parents actually made a feature film likely to try squeeze out every last drop of content and cash before Ryan got too old. The movie starred Ryan and his sisters as superheroes and was released in over 2,000 theaters. It had a $10 million budget, and it made just $624,000. I mean, I don't even think the words box office bomb covers it. This was more like a cinematic black hole. Critics dragged the movie as a vanity project, motivated by greed. One review said it felt like a marketing campaign disguised as a film, and even Ryan's core fans didn't show up. Turns out, you can't just slap your kid's face on a superhero suit and expect the world to care. Especially when your fan base is aging out and the new generation of viewers aren't exactly buying in. But that was just the start, because here's the stat that really stinks. Ryan's World videos used to pull in hundreds of millions of views, sometimes even billions. But these days the videos can't even crack 50,000 views, which is just wild and likely due to the fact the audience has grown up. The magic is fading and the content just isn't hitting like it used to. It feels tired, forced, and almost like watching someone reenact their childhood for a paycheck. Because although Ryan's parents seem to think otherwise, the fact is he's no longer a kid. He's a teen, and watching a 13-year-old pretend to be excited about a slime jar is just weird. So what are we left with? Well, an empire built on a toddler's enthusiasm that slowly turned into a machine, draining every ounce of that child's identity for profit. Loann and Shion Kaji got fame, fortune, and a house in Hawaii. But now they're facing declining views, public backlash, and a reputation that's completely flipped. They're not seen as brilliant YouTube parents anymore. They're seen as cautionary tales. And honestly, a lot of people find that satisfying. Because when you spend nearly a decade monetizing your kids' every move, the world isn't exactly going to root for you when that cash train slows down. Which leaves us at a crossroad. Ryan's growing up, the numbers are going down, and the internet isn't buying the "we're just a wholesome family" act anymore. But let me know in the comments if you think Ryan's parents ever really had his best interest in mind, or was this always just business? So until next time, always remember, at the end of the day, childhood should be lived, not leveraged. And the second you forget that, the internet won't let you.